Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the last video, I introduced you to the backend course of the Spring Boot backend course. So let's start with the first part of the first video related to this series, and that is to introduce you to the Spring framework and to the Spring Boot. So many of you may be coming directly from Java to Spring to learn Spring Boot. So for you, this introduction will be a good one. Okay, so what is a Spring framework? So basically, Spring framework is a framework to build backend applications in Java. Now, the reason to use this is, or why this is a popular choice in today's world is, it has made writing backend in Java much easier. So the era before the Spring was that there was J2E era, EJB, and writing backend using servlets and all. So the problem there was you have to write a lot of code, you have to manage all the dependencies, you have to manage everything from scratch maybe, and the business logic on top of it was too complex. So you can say that if you are writing a code for one database, say MySQL, and if you are moving towards say Postgres, it was the hell of a challenge to do so, right? So that was a kind of thing. Also in that era, it was not a vendor neutral thing. Okay, so there were a lot of like companies where you have to depend upon because you have to use expensive servers of those companies, like WebSphere, or there were a lot of like WebLogic and Red Hat. So there were a lot of vendor specific things that you have to do, vendor specific code you have to write. So that was really a hell. Okay, because you don't want your backend to be tied to a particular vendor, and you just need to pay that vendor, and when you want to shift, then you have to change your backend again to make sure that it works with the new vendor that you are migrating to. So that vendor lock-in was another problem, right? And a lot of code was written. The code was also tightly coupled means, if you are, say, suppose you have one interface, okay, and that interface has you can say two implementations, right? In a code, if you are writing that implementation, if you are using one of the implementation, if you are creating an object of that implementation, and you may be using that implementation across the board, right? Now the requirement changes, you need to use another implementation in the application rather than that one. So how will you do? The refactoring is not that easy. Okay, and if you miss one code changes, then your whole application will go crash, right? At runtime or in production, it's nightmare, right? So all these things the Spring has taken care of. Spring framework is a vendor neutral framework. It is your wish where you want to deploy your application, which server you want to use, it is up to you. Spring don't enforces that. Spring says you can write the code in Spring and you can easily migrate to different platforms, you can migrate to different databases. You don't have to change your code, you just have to change a bit of configuration for specific to database, that is like a port, URL, and all those things. Rest the code will not get changed, and that is the main benefit of using the Spring framework, and that's why it became popular. Now the popularity behind the Spring is also based on the two important concepts. First is dependency injection, and second is inversion of control. When we will be doing the project, we will understand it in a practical way, but I will give you an idea how this dependency injection and inversion of control means and what it is all about, right? So as I said earlier, you have to create your own objects, manage those objects, and in case you need to go move towards another implementation of that same interface, then it is not an easier task to do, right? So Spring came and said, okay, don't do that, just give me the control, I'll manage it for you. So that is what inversion of control means. Inversion of control is taking the control away from the developer regarding the object creation and object management, and the Spring is doing it for you. Now how Spring does that? It does that using a bean factory. So Spring bean factory is what is responsible for creating the objects. So here bean means object only in Spring terms. So bean factory is responsible for object creation, which is required in the application. Now Spring says You just specify me where you want to inject the object or where you want to use that object. Okay, I will create that object for you, and I will make sure that once the purpose of that object is completed, I will take care of it so that the memory don't just blows up. Okay, that is an important thing. So this dependency injection is about injecting the object at the place where user asks for in the application at the runtime, and inversion of control is giving the control of this object creation, this bean creation, to the Spring, and all is done with this Spring container, right? So this, whenever you run the Spring application, a Spring container is there at the runtime, and this all within the Spring container is Spring bean factory. So that handles the inversion of control and dependency injection for you. So you will ask, okay, things are going good till here to here, whatever is being explained, Spring is doing fine. It is reducing, it is making writing configuration easier. The code is loosely coupled. We can write backend application in Java. The boilerplate is reduced, and Spring is managing all those things. So where does the problem is, and why, and where does this Spring Boot comes in? So the problem with Spring framework is first managing the dependencies. Now it is not about the object creation dependency, it is about the Spring dependencies. So suppose Spring, you want to use Spring Web, you want to use Spring JPA, you want to use Spring message queues. Okay, now you as a developer are responsible for selecting the right version of these three modules. Okay, now if you mismatch the dependencies, or if you select the wrong versions, and if it is not compatible with each other, your application will not run, or it may lead to some different or weird behavior at production, and it can crash out, right? So to avoid those things, Spring Boot says, don't worry about which version to take of web or message queue or JPA or Postgres. I will manage that for you. You just tell me what dependency you require. I will provide the dependency as well as the version for it. I will manage it for you. So that is what Spring Boot does. Second was, whenever we have to create a Spring framework project using Spring framework, and we have to configure our own Tomcat server. Okay, so Tomcat is a popular one, so we used to create a Tomcat server for that, and the configuration has to be right. So before writing a single word of code in our business logic, basically we have to check that all the configuration that we have done, all the server installation and configuration that we have done, it is running perfectly fine, and that creates a problem. The problem is, developer has to know everything, all the configuration, all the infrastructure code, all the things, and on top of that, you have a huge business requirement and a huge business logic that you have to write and manage everything. So that was creating a lot of mess. So Spring Boot says, okay, I will do auto configuration for you for all the kind of modules that you want to use. You just have to write a minimal amount of configuration that you require. Okay, you don't have to write any configuration at all. I will provide all the configuration for you. So that is where the Spring Boot comes in. So Spring Boot is basically says, focus on convention, not configuration. Now convention is how do you write the business logic, not how you configure your application. So that is the main thesis of the Spring Boot. So if you go to this Spring Boot official documentation, here also it says Spring Boot makes it easier to create standalone production grade Spring based applications that you can just run. So you just inject, create a Spring Boot application, put web dependency, and you can just run the application. No need to write us anything, right? You can just start with writing a business logic, right? Also it says we take an opinionated view of the Spring platform and third-party libraries, so you can get started with minimum fuss. Most Spring applications need minimal Spring configuration. So as I said, you will very much less required the less minimal Spring configuration, and we will see that when we will be using database, when we will be using the Spring security configuration, that when we will be doing email based configuration also. So all those things. Another important thing is it gives an embedded Tomcat, so you don't have to configure server and no need to deploy WAR files. So you have to do a Maven build and convert your application into a WAR file to deploy on the Tomcat server, in when you are using the pure Spring framework. But in Spring Boot, you can deploy your application as a jar, so no need to do that. Also, it provides production ready features such as metrics, health checks, and externalized configuration. So this is a good thing. You don't have to configure anything for those kind of, right? So these are the basic things that and basic differences between Spring framework and Spring Boot. In terms of, if as a beginner you are still want to learn that, okay, I want more clarity on it, you can say that Spring framework is about building your house where you have to follow all the proper rules about how the architecture of the house should be. You have to take care of that. Foundation should be right, wiring in the house should be right, plumbing should be there, proper structures are in place, proper materials are used. So all those things is like about building a house. So that is what Spring framework is. What is Spring Boot? Spring Boot is like a fully furnished apartment. You just move in and start living. You worry about very less things to change or to, in a fully furnished apartment, you just start using it. Few things you just have to, you have to manage, but that's all. So, I mean, it cannot be a perfect example because I know a lot of people want to own the house and they want to construct their house. I know it is their dream, but that's what the analogy that currently comes to my mind. So, Spring Boot is basically, that is the basic difference between the Spring framework and Spring Boot. But the interesting thing is, Spring Boot itself is built on top of Spring framework. So at the core of the Spring Boot, at the bottom, at the foundation of the Spring Boot, it is the Spring framework itself which is there. So you don't have to worry that both are different. Both are not different. It is just that Spring framework is a kind of a parent thing, that is a foundation thing, and Spring Boot is built on top of that, so that the developer can become productive from day one, or you can say in just 5 minutes. Okay, so it is that easy to do it. Now we can go to, this start.spring.io application, and we can simply create a simple Spring Boot project and we can run it. But I will not do that now. I have taken you to till here, but we will create a new project, a new hello world we will write in the next video. So I hope you have understood this difference and features of both the things. If you have any questions, please post in the comment. I'll try to answer those questions, and I'll see you in the next one. So till then, bye bye.